Om Shanti. Today Baba tells us, in order to be saved from performing sinful actions, practice being bodiless again and again. It is this practice that will make you into the conquerors of Maya and enable your yoga to remain constantly connected. So, we will first take up this word bodiless. Now, when Baba says you practice being bodiless, can we shed the body? So I, the soul, will shed the body and experience being bodiless? No, that is not what Baba is saying. So what is Baba saying? Baba is saying that I, the soul, am experiencing everything through my man and buddhi. Yes, my whole experience is through my man and buddhi. And when I detach my man and buddhi from the body, then you see that the body is the interface between the soul and the physical world. Yes, if there is no body, then can the soul experience the physical world? Can you feel hot, cold? Can you feel that there is a noise around? No ears, you can't feel anything. So the eyes, the ears, so the skin, the olfactory senses, this is what is responsible for our experience of the physical world. And you see that the physical world is in a state of constant turmoil right now. We are in Kali Yuga. So there is a huge, powerful disintegrating force. So everything around us is constantly shifting. Yes, one moment it looks intact, second moment it feels very uncertain. So now Baba says that if you entangle your consciousness with the physical world, then your experience of life will be that of fear, insecurity, uncertainty. And you will constantly experience a sense of loss and failure and this and that, because that's the nature of the external world right now. It is Kali Yuga, you can't help it. Yes, so according to the drama, it is Kali Yuga, and Kali Yuga is what it is. So, and let me tell you something. So there is this law that you do good, you get good. Yes, but then you see, when you are in Kali Yuga, you are carrying a big burden of your past karma. So even if your present karma is very accurate, yes, I am very nice to somebody, can't guarantee that they will be nice to me, they can deceive me despite that. Why? Because there is a big karmic burden. So at this time, it's not about just keeping the present karma good. Of course, when you know that you are already in so much karmic debt, you cannot afford to do more bad karma. That is another story. So you take care of your karma. But despite that, you cannot ensure that everything will be okay, because there has been so much of negative karma creation from the copper age that still many things will come up. So this is why Baba says, apart from keeping your karma, based on Srimad, you also have to practice being bodiless, because despite all your efforts, when everything doesn't happen your way, or things just behave erratically or in an uncertain manner, you have to insulate yourself from the effect of that happening outside. Yes, so I see so many parents, you see, they have spent all their life raising children and given their best to do what they could, but still the child doesn't, turn out to be proficient or have be responsible about their life or their activities. And then the heart of the parent aches because you are attached to the karma that you did. So now Baba says you have to practice being bodiless. Now what is the practice of being bodiless? So we are in the body, we have a sense of I and mine. Yes, and this I and mine is something that we have drilled into us for very long. So I am my body, I am what I do, I am what I have, I am whatever labels and titles I carry around me. And then I have mine is my relationships, my labels, positions, roles, everything. Now Baba says you are not what you have and what you do, and who you think is yours is not actually yours. And then Baba has told us the truth that you are a soul and yours is Baba. Yes, so when Baba says being bodiless, bodiless means positioning your man and buddhi in the consciousness that I am a soul, just a soul, the body I detach from, and then mine is one Baba and none other. So that is the state of bodilessness. And although we cannot always be in this state because we have to work, we have to, again build that I and mine all the time and take care of all that we have created in that sense of I and mine. But Baba says if you practice this enough, this detachment every 1 hour, 1 minute or something, and in the early morning, if you create a base for it, a foundation for it, then what happens is slowly, gradually, you will feel the shift that you are doing everything. You are taking care of all your roles and labels and titles and everything. But then you are doing it in a sense of detachment, in a sense of trusteeship. And then even when something goes wrong on the external, you are able to solve it but not get affected by it. Or if something is very great outside, you are already feeling great, so you don't have to feel great based on that. So that needn't be your foundation for feeling great that day. So Baba says this is how you practice being bodiless. Now the thing is, knowledge is one thing. So we are listening to knowledge every day. But then practice is very important. Because if you don't practice, and the thing is, if you don't, so there is a method to practice also. If you don't honor the method, then it doesn't work. So I will tell you that there is this brother and he told me that I'm thinking about going for a walk since 1 month, but I'm not able to. So I said, why? So he said, because I get up at 9 a.m. So, and it is hot, it is June, so scorching heat outside. So after I get up, there is no time where I feel I can go and take a walk. It's very hot outside. So I said, see, when you say your intention is to go for a walk, then you must understand it implies that you have to get up at 4 or 5. So it doesn't mean that you get up at 9 and then you say the nature is not cooperating with me. No, You have to cooperate with nature, with the, the natural clock, and then you have to figure out when you can find time to go for a walk. Similarly, Baba has told us that the Brahma Muhurat, the time of nectar, Amrit Vela, the time of Brahma, that is the time to create your stage. Brahma is always associated with the creation. So Baba says there is a reason why Brahma Muhurat is called Brahma Muhurat. It is not just inadvertently they started calling it Brahma Muhurat. So that is the time you create the foundation of your state of mind. And if you miss that time, then you try to build a building on somewhere where there is no foundation, and it doesn't work. So all day you are trying to be bodiless, but it doesn't work. So early in the morning at 4 you have to get up and just sit in the awareness that I'm a soul who belongs to Baba, and this body is just an instrument. Just like, you can just discard your clothes and keep it aside. So you can just in your awareness detach from your body. You can feel that your body is sitting there and you are separate from the body. You're one soul and your connection is completely with Baba, and you identify with Baba. Your identity is based on Baba. Your experience is based on this divine connection with Baba. And who is Baba? Baba is the ocean of peace and knowledge and purity and power. So obviously you can feel that you are the same as Baba. So you are also feeling like you are a reflection of Baba. So Baba says you practice this early in the morning, and then what happens is so you see that all our sorrow comes when we get caught up in loss and gain, fame and defamation. Yes, so all these pair of opposites, success and failure, which is the design of the drama. So when you get caught up in that, that is what Baba calls Maya. Yes, so when you're body conscious, even if you don't plan to, you will get caught up in this game of opposites happening outside. Yes, and you know how Maya deceives you? Maya doesn't give you sorrow first. Maya gives you happiness first. Maya doesn't give you praise first, defamation first. It gives you praise. And then you get caught up in that. And then when you get caught up in praise, you automatically get affected by defamation. When you get caught up in gain, you automatically experience a sense of loss. Yes, when you were a kid, did you feel so much sense of loss? No, because you didn't have anything. That was not programmed. Then slowly you programmed yourself. I'm a rank holder, I'm an achiever, I'm rank 1, I'm the boss, I'm this, that, so much money, or I have a very successful married life, this, that. And then you created this sense of I have this, have that, have the other. And this is why you're so vulnerable to the experience of loss right now. So Baba says, when you create this state where you have to work really hard for this, that you practice enough to feel that you are just a soul, just a point of light. And with your connection with Baba, you're complete in yourself. And when you feel that, then anything that is happening outside can be responsibly managed without being entangled in it. So I would like to put it like this. So you will do away with emotions and will be always in touch with positive feelings. So emotions are very short-lived. You feel pleasure, you feel pain, you feel elated, you feel you feel miserable. So those are all emotions that you experience because you're body conscious and there is constant change going on in the external world. But feelings are purity, peace, a sense of love, happiness, genuine spiritual happiness, and a sense that you are worthy and powerful. And these feelings have their root in your connection with Baba and your soul consciousness. And when you practice this bodiless state, then you're so grounded in your feelings, which are very permanent in nature, that you don't get swayed away by emotions. So even if there is an emotion, you allow you work on it and you convert it into a feeling. So this is how you can work with this bodiless state, but it requires practice. And then Baba says, Maya will not be able to deceive you. And the most important thing is your yoga with Baba will not break. Now the thing is, the soul has a natural connection with Baba. It is only when we become body conscious that we lose that connection. So when you are detached from the body, when you are detached from this sense of external I and mine, then you experience that Baba is with you, Baba is showering his love on you, and you feel that connection, that security, that sustenance, that sense of having a profound and powerful, stable relationship with the Almighty. And that gives you a lot of grounding inside. So, have you felt that connection with Baba? So, are there days when you feel very close to Baba? Have you felt that? How many have felt that? That you really feel that I am close to Baba, and you feel a sense of permanent security and stability and everything inside. So that's a very beautiful feeling to have. And when you practice being bodiless, you get in touch with that feeling. And what I have experienced is, once you feel those feelings, then you become very careful that you don't lose them. So you don't want to feel not grounded. You don't want to feel, floating on the vagaries of situations, and you don't want to be on that roller coaster again. You want to experience that stability all the time. So then, so let's take this example that when you've tasted something, let's say once you cooked a new dish and it took 2 hours to cook, but then you tasted it. Now once you taste it, that taste goes in your memory. And then what happens is that taste prods you to cook it again. Yes, that taste gives you the strength to invest your time and energy in cooking it again. So, sometimes when you yearn for that same taste, your mind will tell you, oh, it will take 2 hours. I don't have 2 hours to cook that now. And you will postpone it. But then after 2 days, you will again have the thought, I have a craving for it. I want to invest my time and energy and cook it and have it. So that is the power of taste. And when you have the taste of this spiritual connection with Baba, then what happens is, this taste makes you get up 3:30 in the morning. And this taste makes you sleep early. And this taste, helps you. It gives you the strength to refrain from engaging in wasteful stuff which saps your energy and which doesn't allow you to have a soul conscious state. So you must have this taste once, but first you have to cook and taste it, and then that taste will compel you to have that spiritual lifestyle. So sometimes people ask us, what is your motivation to get up at 3:30, or not watch anything extra, or not hear anything, or have no, no conventional entertainment, as people say it. So you don't have any entertainment in life or anything. So we tell them, you've tasted this sweetness of silence and the sweetness of purity and the sweetness of this connection with Baba, which happens through introversion. And that sweetness doesn't allow us, because every time there is an opportunity to get extroverted or go into expansion, then automatically your intellect tells you don't go there, you will lose that sweetness of silence inside. So that is the red flag, and then that stops you from doing vikarma. So when Baba says that bodiless state helps, it allows you to stay connected with Baba all the time, and then it stops you from doing vikarma, because you know that the moment you go into, I'm not even telling negative action, the moment you go into waste speech also. Let's take one simple example. You are with a friend and you started chatting and you started engaging in wasteful talk. Then you suddenly realize that your connection with Baba is lost. You don't feel grounded within. And that is what stops you from engaging in anything wasteful or negative. Okay, so this is the method. I know that when you are beginning your journey, these things look very difficult, but in my experience, when Baba is here and when Baba is asking us to do something, he is giving us the strength also. And when COVID came and we started online classes, I used to think that maybe in the online medium there cannot be this kind of spiritual sustenance. In the beginning I had this idea, but when the online session started, I felt that Baba is doing his work, I just need to do mine. And then Baba gave his experience to every child, even when they were attending classes online. And we have very good Baba's children, who are following all disciplines and understanding Gyan and having deep realizations, because Baba is working with you. So always have this sense that you are not doing this alone. You are in Sangam Yug. Baba has come from the soul world just for you. So he is doing it along with you. He is giving you the inspiration. So he is also giving you the courage. So take that courage and practice this. So get up at 4 if you're not getting up, because that's the first step. So this is something. And then Baba today tells us that, Baba says that what faith should you have so that your yoga doesn't break. So in Hindi we say lakshya se lakshan aate hain. So when you have a clear aim, then your path is not difficult to find. Yes, so Baba says when you aim for purity, then you know that the only method is Baba. So the only method is having yoga with Baba. So when you understand and have faith that I was pure and I have to become pure, if that clarity is there in your buddhi, then yoga with Baba will become very easy. Yes, when you know you want to get physically well, you have yoga with the doctor. So when you know that I, the soul, have become spiritually depleted and I want to go back to my strength and my power, then you automatically have yoga with Baba, because your buddhi understands that no human being can restore you to strength and peace and happiness. It is only Baba. So then you try to be antarmukhi, and try to always have that connection, internal connection with Baba. So this is what prods you to do that. And then in the Murli today, there are many beautiful things, but Baba today talks about science and silence. And Baba says that the world is depending on science and your path is silence. So what is science? Science makes your buddhi go out. So, when, let's say, you have watched the Animal Planet. So now you can sit here and think about what lies in the inner recesses of the forests and what lies underwater. And science takes your buddhi into expansion. So it just expands your awareness. And in that expansion, you see that everything is out there and you want to go more out and out. And what does silence do? Silence allows you to go inwards, and it allows you to become a point and find everything in point of light Baba. So science makes you wander and silence makes you stabilize. So this is how it is. And Baba says, so the world, the method of the world is science and the method of God is silence. And Baba says that you, in both the cases, you do it through the buddhi. Yes. So the tool of science is also buddhi and the tool of silence is also buddhi. But when you allow your buddhi to work under the dictates of what the world tells you, then your buddhi goes into expansion. And when you allow your buddhi to be guided by what Baba tells you, then you go into very deep concentration where you find everything. You find joy, peace, love, happiness, everything in this one thought that I am Baba's child. So that is the power of silence. And Baba says, through the power of science, you will reach destruction, and through the power of silence, you will reach golden age. And you see why destruction? Because science gives you power, but science doesn't give you the judgment how to use that power. So another aspect of it is science also makes you realize the power of the 5 elements. Yes, the power of nature. And science also enables you to tap into that power. And silence enables you to realize the power of peace and purity and power of knowing the past, present and future, power of knowing Baba, power of realizing you're Baba's child. So there is power in both. But when power is not substantiated or balanced with a spiritual goal and with the right aim, right knowledge, then what happens is that power is used for destruction. Yes, so have you seen that during 9/11 they used an aeroplane to destroy the Twin Towers, and before that nobody ever thought that you could use an aeroplane for that. But you see that if you are a person, a soul with destructive orientation, so if you're not in touch with your goodness and your peace and other virtues, then what happens is you use what you know and the power you have to destroy. Yes, and There was once this brother and he was asking me, so do you think artificial intelligence is a good thing or a bad thing? So I told him, there will be artificial intelligence in Satyug also, because everything will be automatic. Your Pushpak Viman will fly with the power of thought, but then it will be a good thing in Satyug and a bad thing in Kalyug, because a Kalyugi soul, when he has access to scientific power, they use it for destruction. And when you're guided by Baba, then you use everything for construction. Now you look at everything that you have, your time, your energy, your thought, your resources, where are they going? Are they creating a better world? Are they creating a better state of mind, or are they not? So before we came to Baba, our own mind was being used against us. Yes, our own speech. We were saying things and we were regretting it. We were doing karma, regretting it. We were using our money in such ways that we fell into trouble. So everything that we did with our own resources, under the dictates of Ravan, under the dictates of the 5 vices, that was the reason for our trouble. And now that we have come to Baba, we are using everything in a way that it is giving you, productive fruit. It is creating good karma. So Baba says, similarly, science, because it is backed by ego and it is not under the guidance of Shiv Baba, so it will eventually lead to destruction. Although many things of comfort have been created by science, but gradually the viciousness and the ego of man is increasing, and increasingly science will be used for destruction. And Baba is asking us to go into silence and create the spiritual stage and strength through which we will create a better world through the power of our consciousness and the power of our spiritual actions based on that powerful consciousness. So this is what Baba talks about, science and silence today. And then Baba talks about the importance of knowledge. So Baba says, those who are with the ocean of knowledge, they constantly experience the rain of knowledge. So, and do you know, when it rains, then things grow. So when it rains, then barren lands become full of vegetation and greenery and everything. So Baba says, when this rain of knowledge falls on the parched land of the soul, then the soul starts cultivating peace and love and purity and happiness and joy and power. So that is what this rain does. And Baba says this is rain, and then knowledge is also called light. So just like light enables you to see what is already there, so knowledge also brings to your awareness all that was already there. So you see that when there is not physical light in the room, everything is there. There is a table, there is a chair, there is a glass, but you can't see it. Similarly, without the light of knowledge, you cannot see you are a soul. You cannot see there is Baba. You cannot see that Baba is giving you peace. You are not taking it because you are not aware. You are not aware that you were a deity. You are not aware that you are going to be a deity. So you are not aware that this is the time to sow the seeds for that. So Baba says, I am giving you the knowledge which is giving you the light, which is guiding you about what is the time and what do you need to do. And Baba says, only you children are the ones who are experiencing this rain of knowledge or this light of knowledge. So that is why our action should be very different from those who are not seeing what we are seeing. Because if we are seeing something different from what others are saying, then obviously we should act differently. Otherwise, we are equally blind. And do you see that this blindness? So, in Gita, it is said that the Kauravas were, Dhritarashtra was blind, and then Duryodhan was called Andhe ka putra andha. So, he was called that you are the son of the blind, so you are also blind. So, Baba says, it is not, those scriptures are not about physical blindness. It is all about this vision of knowledge. And when you don't have that eye of knowledge, you are like Duryodhan. And when you have the eye of knowledge, you become Arjun. You know where to aim, you know what to do. So all those scriptures were also telling you the same thing. But until Baba comes, we don't get the right message. So this is what Baba says. And then in the blessing today, Baba says that you must apply the power of yoga. So experiment with yoga, yoga prayog. So not just yoga, but application of yoga. So now when you say you are a yogi, so let's say, when we heard stories about sannyasis and tapasvis, we always heard that they sat in meditation, and when somebody disturbed them, they gave them a curse. Yes. So is that yoga? So when you sit in meditation and somebody disturbs you, you curse them. Does that happen when you are in yoga? So this is something to think about. And I remember when I started meditating in my early days, so when I just got introduced to Gyan, and then I used to get up at 4, and then when I saw somebody else sleeping at 4, then all the time I meditated, I just thought about how bad that person is who is sleeping at 4 a.m. And then 4 to 4:45, I would be just thinking about how people don't realize the importance of getting up and sitting in meditation. And at 4:45, I would go and shout at them. And then and then I slowly realized this is not yoga. I'm not doing something right. So we have various ideas about yoga which are not yoga. So Baba today tells us one very good indication of good yoga. So Baba says, when you are a good yogi, you will not waste anything. You will not waste anything. You will not waste your thought. You will not waste your time. You will not waste your words. You will only speak the words which reach the other person's heart. If you are a good yogi and you are applying your yoga power, what does yoga do? It fills your heart with knowledge, peace, purity, love, power. Because you're connecting with the ocean. And when you are in that state, then all your karma is free from waste. So your thinking is not unnecessary, your speaking is not unnecessary. You don't waste your time. Because why do we waste everything? Because we think that by indulging in this, indulging in my own thoughts or wasting my time in indulging in something, I will get peace, get happiness. That's what you do. That's why you indulge in extra thought, extra expenditure, extra words. But Baba says you will not need to indulge, because when you're a good yogi, you're full inside. So you don't need to indulge in anything extra externally. What you do is you use everything accurately and appropriately just to get the work done. So you speak as much as is necessary. You use your time rightly and productively. Every thought that you create is materialized. And I can tell you, it is so true that if I think about somebody today, they come to class tomorrow. So let's say somebody is not coming to class for 3-4 days, and I think about them today. So of course we don't think, we get the thought, because when you sit in meditation, sometimes Baba gives you that thought and then you make them sit before Baba and the next day they come to class. So this is what happens, because nothing that you do goes to waste. If you are a yogi, this is the sign of a good yogi. Okay. All right. Om Shanti.